stuck to throughout my life. But क्या है कि हर एक माँ बाप हर जिस सिचुएशन में आप पैदा होते हो मिडिल क्लास फैमिली या तो डॉक्टर देखते हैं या आईएएस ऑफिसर देखते हैं या लॉयर देखते हैं और या इंजीनियर देखते हैं. तो मेरे पास भी यही चार ही रूट्स थे. So I studied medical. I did my bachelor's in biotechnology. But I was always writing throughout ever since I was 6. And so I realized my calling pretty late in life, but then it's never too late, right?
Yes.
So I started writing and it's been 10, 15 years now. But I really wish I had found my calling or understood my calling. I always had my calling. I wish I had acknowledged my calling way before. So yeah.
And is that something, you'd give as advice to people as well?
100%, 100%. I think wherever your heart is, you'll make money out of it. Don't worry too much about money. I was very worried about money. मुझे घर चलाना है, मुझे अपना काम करना है. So I let that overtake and partake my own choices. But I know if your heart is somewhere and you do so well, you will get money also.
Yes. Well, we were just hearing about your directorial debut already. There's a lot of buzz about it. So I will come to that in just a second. But which do you love more, writing or directing?
Oh gosh, that's a very tough call because somehow when I write, I'm always visualizing my world, and I found my voice being reaching out to many, many other people because of the visual medium. But writing is what I do every day. I can't make a film every day. I can only make a film once a year. But nothing can stop me from writing stories. So which is why on Instagram I started with hashtag stories in my head. And I have so many stories brimming inside me that I needed a platform. So I'm posting my stories every day. I don't need anybody else.
Absolutely. Just talking now about the kind of response you've got for your last couple of films and also now the buzz for the Big Bang debut. Tell us about that. And firstly, the response you got for your previous films, and now what made you direct Sharma Ji Ki Beti, what the idea is. I know you can't tell us too much right now.
Yeah, so no, I started off, and it was in 2017 that I made my first short film. I'd borrowed some money and sort of money borrow भी अपने husband से ही किया था, पर उसको मैंने as a producer देखे थे, उसको बकायदा मैंने वापस दिए थे पैसे with interest. So I made this short film called Toffee, and that was my first one. I was all jitters, but I got such an amazing response. It got selected to various film festivals. It went to Amsterdam, to US, to the biggest one was Taiwan International Children's Festival, where it also won an award. So after that, the journey took over, and then I made various short films. A lot of them are on OTT or on Netflix. And then came Sharma Ji Ki Beti. I am obsessed with women because it's something that I'm very passionate about. I feel there is so many stories around them, within them, that haven't been explored, haven't been written. या तो हमें वो बहुत एकदम साफ we want to just see clear and all vanilla, or we see her as a vamp. We don't accept women with shades of grey. We don't accept women as being a superhero. She's still not played in India as of now. There's so many roles and so many characters of women that haven't been explored, and they do exist. We all exist. Look at the room. It's just not men. They're women too, and their stories need to be told as well. Which is why...
And you want to do that?
And I absolutely do that. I think it's my calling. It's my biggest calling to introduce people to the world of beautiful narratives that surround women.
Yeah.
And so,
And you also believe, you're being honored today again, as I said, for being the voice of change. Do you believe cinema can also be an agent of change?
100%. We belong to a country which is obsessed with stories. I think ever since we were born, we used to tell our grandparents and grandmothers to tell us stories, and that's how we have lived. Our morality compass is based on the stories, whether there is Mahabharata, Ramayana. We thrive on stories. And cinema and books have a direct relation to how sensitive people are becoming, especially with the kind of multiplex cinema there is. You see a lot of people who are sensitized. Earlier on, for example, I'll tell you, when we used to play Tambola or Housey, there were two fat ladies. And we always found it very funny. But why did we find funny? Because I don't think we saw any stories which empathize with them, and we've seen it visually.
Yeah.
So जब हम औरतों के बारे में पता ही नहीं है, there'll always be two fat ladies and it'll evoke laughter. Same goes for balding in men. हमें हमेशा छोटे होते jokes आते हैं, वो टकला जा रहा है, ये कर रहा है, वो कर रहा है. या तो वो caricature होते हैं, या they're caricaturish version of themselves. Or that's because we've never seen a story which empathizes with these characters.
True.
Cinema is that kind of change, an agent for change, where you can evoke empathy.
True.
And they no longer are than caricaturish version of themselves. They're human beings. They're people worthy of their narratives being told and heard.
Quickly, about your two books. Many authors over here, of course, and you are also a celebrated one. Tell us about what you believe clicked in 12 Commandments of being a woman and 7 Sins of being a mother. And they're two different books. It's not the same one.
Yeah, they did pretty well, and I think it's the humor. It's the I think I've owned up a lot of things, whether it's got to do with bedroom humor or sexuality or failing as a mother. I think it was all about breaking taboos, and the only way to do that was accept that I have done shit. Sorry using that word, but I think that evoked a lot of empathy amongst women and readers and men, and that's how I got a lot of love.
And it evoked a response from Shah Rukh Khan, who was pretty amused.
Yes, because we dated seeing his films, and the worst part was we were not seeing him, we were just busy dating. So and when he read the book, of course, he was in splits, and I'm so grateful to him for giving me that quote.
Exactly. But just very, very quickly, before we end, two final questions. One on, whether you do believe that through, again, writing, we can strive to break patriarchy and change norms that are still very, very prevalent in India today.
Of course, of course. And that's precisely why I'm so motivated enough, because you see yourself being subjected to patriarchy, but as a kid, you know that this is not right, but you don't know the word for it. And then when I was in college, I used to stand up for things, and mujhe bolte the aage jhande gaarni, because feminism was not woke at that time and the word was not coined, and now we have feminists. So I think it has always been my calling, and my way of addressing patriarchy is through my books and my films, and my way of writing is always subtle with a sense of humor.